Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode, I believe episode 29 of Some Random. I am your host, Sriracha Flash. With me today, the beautiful, the wonderful, the magnificent Seth Series Mark II, one of three featured and sponsored players by the R Street Fighter sponsorship, sending himself, No Good Citizen, and Amezi out to the North American Regional Finals. Seth, how you doing today, buddy? How's it going?
Hey, hi. It's going well. I appreciate you having me on. And boy, howdy, you called me three things that are absolutely not true.
Well, look, it's all up for debate. I like to gas up the guests, as we get the show started. It's fine. No big deal.
That's the thing we do.
Well, look, you can listen. We've got your picture up on screen right now, as we do for all the guests. There's no way you look at that man and you go, all right, that's obviously a beautiful man. That's obviously a good-looking man right there. You can't deny it. You can't deny it.
That is peak hot mess energy, and I channel it well.
Look, let's be honest. Hot mess energy might be the hottest energy of them all, right? Prim and proper is all good, but there's something special about a hot mess that's just it does something for you. Every fucking person listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. Don't even start with me right now. I'm happy this is the episode where I'm like, hey, we're gonna do a little fundraiser for this, and this is how we start the fucking show.
It's great.
I know. Well, look, my friend, why don't we let the people know who the hell are you in the first place?
Okay, so I am. This is so awkward. Hey, so I am a competitive player from outside of the Chicago region. You can see me a lot on our Monday and Thursday stuff. I do a lot of coaching work and do my own streams over at my personal Twitch, which is twitch.tv/SethSeriesMKII. And I am a hot mess, but I am somehow convinced for 300, almost 400 people to vote for me to go to Vegas next week, which is still something that is just way past my head.
I mean, you went out, you campaigned fucking hard, my friend.
The big thing about that is I am very blessed in my scene to have Classico, former Street Fighter League competitor, and St. Cola, known clout god, to help me kind of campaign, and boy howdy, they ran me ragged.
I mean, to be fair, if you're gonna have anyone run you ragged and promote the shit out of you, who would you rather have in your pocket? Who better for you than St. Cola? Realistically.
I mean, yeah, no. So Ryan is a super good dude, and Juan Classico is also I love both of those guys. And I legitimately do not think that I would have. I don't think that I would have made it for that. Without their help, I don't think I could have pulled off what I did.
Well, the important thing is that you did, and you fucking got here. So now we're gonna make sure that you can go, which was already in the process. You got fucking sick shirt designs, from Quasimodo Axe, which is fucking dope. Alright, so to my untrained eye, I immediately saw it and I went, oh fuck, is that a Lupin the Third reference? And I was very excited about it, and I still don't know if it's true or not. But that's immediately where my thought process went, is that it's a Lupin the Third reference with Cody. So I hope that's what it is. But
that's definitely what it is, because my...
Fuck, yeah. Alright, sorry.
I was gonna say, my Cody skin, I use his... one of his colors is explicitly, very Lupin-esque.
Right.
It's the green jacket with the jeans and the yellow bow tie, and it's just oh, I like the Castle of Cagliostro a whole lot. I'm going to use this color because no one else is going to.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a gaudy-ish color. But it looks so good. It looks so good, and the shirt looks so good. Sorry, I'm very excited.
Real talk, I handed those materials to Quasi and was just hey man, this is what I'm thinking. And he came back with that design, and I was oh, you did better. I had this thing clearly in mind that you just did way better, and that's man, I'm super happy with how that came out.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it up on screen for anyone that's curious. This is what the shirt looks like. It's awesome. It looks fucking great. It's got the SethSeriesMKII like right underneath it. I love the knife and pipe like floating like debris in what used to be Criminal Upper. God damn, it looks so good. Fuck, man.
I really like it. If I had to like say my personal favorite touch is like one, the katakana in the Lupin logo font just says Cody, and B, like I really like the small little knife over the logo there. Like I think that's just such a nice touch.
Yeah, it's oh man, it's something special. Shout outs to Quasimodo Axe and like all of the fucking art. Is it all right? I know recently Joe said it was like Quasimodo X. I don't give a shit. It's Quasimodo Axe as far as I'm concerned. Because Joe was in the same boat that I was, where he's like, nah, fuck that. It's Quasimodo Axe.
I'm just gonna call him Quasi, and like that
works.
I'm gonna call him Quasi, and like either I'm gonna get corrected or I'm not, and I will adjust myself as need be.
But shout outs to him and his fucking sick artwork, man. Everything that he's done for your design, for Joe's design, for Amezi's design, it's awesome.
Like the rough thing is like they somehow made a incredibly marketable shirt off of some bullshit I just came up with.
Right.
And like when I always made a joke to myself that like if for whatever reason people are willing to send me somewhere through RSF, if they are willing to send me somewhere, then hey, the shirt that I'm gonna make is gonna be for me. And that's just the way it must be. And then somehow they managed to make it to where it's things that other people will enjoy. And I got a lot more like people actually understanding what that shirt was and who that was than I really thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, you should be. So, all right, let's start at the beginning of this, actually, because I'm really curious, because I was in the voting, too. Obviously came, like, I had a fourth of what you had. Nowhere close as to what you had as far as votes go. But when you started the campaign, the big ones got off. They started really strong. So, Amezi started really strong. No Good Citizen started really strong. And I believe Footwork was, like, jumped out to the front of the voting. And I think Musty Diapers, for some reason, not some reason, obviously he's got people voting for him, but Musty Diapers had, like, a huge start at the beginning, and then you were always, like, lingering around, and then, like, had a big push in, like, the final couple days. I think the final week, like, a really big push. What was that like? Like, how did you start campaigning, I guess, a little bit harder as time went on?
Honestly, like, so the big thing, like, I'm going to be upfront. Like, I nominated myself for this. It was just one of those things of like, hey, I'm trying to, like, realistically, I kind of see the end of the road for me as like a competitor. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm moving to the next stage of my life, and I see that I see that clock ticking down. So this was one of those things of like, I'm going to just sit here, and I'm gonna like see if I can do this. I'm gonna see if I can like make this push, if I can like put myself out there, push some content, and like hit these deadlines and goals of these are the things that I'm gonna get done, and I just want to see if I can do it, because like I've been making videos, I've been making a bunch of other stuff that just isn't fighting game related, and like if I'm really gonna try to like maybe start doing some content creator stuff, I need to get comfortable with the idea of shilling my work anywhere and everywhere someone will listen to me. So this turned into, all right, this is my experiment for that. I need to just go ahead and sit down, like understand these avenues of where I can push myself and people who will help me push myself. And then I worked with Classico and I worked with St. Cola, both of them like came to fucking bat. Classico reached out to the SoCal crew. I had Dankadillas give me a push. I had Just a Kid give me a push. And after that, like I had friends out there campaigning for me in people's streams. I was campaigning myself. Like I did a couple of charity streams. Like I did a lot of content. I did a pretty like good 5-minute video just breaking down like how Cody's command grab works, and just started making content. I did coaching streams. I did I did fighting game and regular streams. Like that last little bit where it was just like, hey, I've passed footwork up, and I passed footwork up and got a pretty didn't see him make any movement for a couple days. So I was like, I'm good. And then Mike somehow tripled his vote count in a day. And I felt, I was just like, because at this point, Joe was in first and was out was at fucking Jimmy John's getting votes, and it's just like, all right, okay, man, I see you, I respect what you're doing. I live in Chicago, so that's not happening, right. But and MZ is a 2 million subscriber YouTuber, so the general thought process I had was they've done 3. They've done a surprise thing. If I really hustle, I can probably pull this in. And I was getting a good thing going, getting a pretty fair amount of votes. And then Mike kind of kicked. Mike showed up, and it was just that's 300 votes that I now have. Or that's 200 something votes that I now have to surpass.
Right.
And so it was just I had a day where it was just I'm cooked. I'm done. It's over. And Juan and Ryan just both kind of slapped me out of it, and I doubled down as hard as I possibly could. And so I went and did that. I did that. I called all of my family back home, and I was just like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. I reached out to my old work group chat, my current work group chat. I called family members and showed them how to vote, remoted into their desktops and walked them through each bit of it. And just I sat there and I literally pulled every reserve I had. I reached out to all the people that I've done streams with. I've reached out to all the people that have done content with me, and just I pulled from a well that's been kind of established for 5 years of me not things that I didn't even do fighting game content, and at the end of it, it kind of, I was able to push my way through right to the end of it.
Right. Yeah. Well. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you hustled hard. You rallied the fucking troops. You got everybody, and now here we are, man. Now we're promoting you. We're doing a fundraiser. For anyone that's listening right now, anyone that's watching right now, you want to ask us literally anything under the sun. Donate $1. We will answer any of your questions. All proceeds that we raise here tonight, any donations that we raise here tonight, if we only raise $1, if we raise any amount of money, will go towards the Reddit sponsorships that will send out Seth Series, we'll send out No Good Citizen, and we'll send out Umezi to the North American Regional Finals.
And the good thing to remember for that too is if you don't have money, you can do the you can actually do the the no good. You can do the Twitter quest that they have on Matcherino, and that is, if you do all of those, that's for about 10 minutes of your time. That's it's a $3 donation to the pot.
Right. And totally worth it. It like Seth says, it doesn't cost you anything. You literally just have to go through, click a couple things, have yourself a good day, and go on about your business. And that's, you can donate up to $3 by doing nothing but clicking a couple of buttons. And I will actually link this. Is in the chat right now. That is the tournament link that will, show you all the other cool, fun merchandise that they have out there. And if you want to just donate directly, also that link right there. But look, let's bring it back to you for a second before we continue down the rest of this road with the Street Fighter stuff and whatnot. What was your first fighting game? What brought you into fighting games in the first place?
So I started as a Persona 4 arena player, when I was actually getting serious. I had made friends with a couple of anime players at an anime convention that I worked at. Funny how those things work. But so, I made a couple of friends with them, and eventually it was just hey, we're all super into this and doing we're all doing this, and I'm all right, I've heard about this Persona series, I'll fuck with it.
Right.
So I started playing, and like I played that for both of its iterations, like regular and Ultimax. And then eventually, like, my scene, like, back home was Marvel. So I linked up with a couple of guys there and started playing Marvel. And then eventually, like, I just kind of transitioned. Like, I played Killer Instinct for a little while. And then, like, I really got serious about Street Fighter. And that's just been kind of that's just been what I've been doing for as long as I can remember. I say like 2016. It wasn't that fucking long ago, but it sure feels like it.
3 years in the FGC is like 10 years in normal time. Me and Ryan were talking about this 2 days ago. FGC Twitter fucking ages you, man. Good lord.
It like so I funny enough, like I was on RSF radio last week, and we lost an entire episode.
Oh,
and that was and like, you know, we kind of talked a little bit about like some of the dumb shit going on through FGC Twitter, and like what it means to like actually go through that and understand, and like some of the things that are bad and going on with FGC Twitter. And then this week happens, I'm like, well, fuck. You know,
FGC Twitter will never fail to make you just go, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's such a fucking shit show, and it's just this. You know, every week it's either someone saying some real ignorant shit, it's someone saying like some dumb fucking sexist shit, it's someone saying that no, actually, stealing art is 100% okay, and I'm going to do it, so fuck you.
That was the one that I was just like, man, fuck. Like, that was the last one that sent me over the edge.
Yeah, no, like I saw that today and I was like, oh, man known for saying incredibly sexist and incredibly sexist, kind of racist shit, saying some ignorant shit again today. Man, we're just starting right out, aren't we?
There's no brakes on this fucking train. There's no brakes on this train.
It just doesn't stop, and I'm just like, all right, you know, this is the point we've hit, and I guess we are not going back.
It's the other day, Ono tweeted out that like about the other thing was the boss logic thing with Street Fighter 6. Fuck, I grew gray hairs just looking at the replies. But like Ono was like, ask again in like 10 years. And then everyone's like, what? 10 years of Street Fighter 5? I hate Street Fighter 5. And I was just like, man, I hope Street Fighter 6 comes out in 10 years. Because by that time, I'll be 40. FGC Twitter will have fucking pushed me away from the scene entirely, and I won't give a shit. So please, like 10 years from now, let it come out. God damn, I'll be done. Until that time, I'll put up with all you beautiful people and your questions.
Oh, yeah. But it was just, that entire thing was a huge shit show, and like it's been some weird stuff like that. There's been, you know, in the last couple of months we had a bunch of sexism around the Street Fighter League, just the Street Fighter League nominations. We had a bunch of just weird, like, it's been a bad time to be in the FGC lately, because it's just like, oh hey, people are getting sexually assaulted. There's a bunch of racism going on. Like we are hemorrhaging players because of the aforementioned things. And it's just like those conversations are super hard to have. And there's so many moments where you just kind of have to sit there and look and just be like, man, is this really something I want to be a part of? And I've had those conversations with people who like don't want to be a part of it, and it's the worst. It's actually the worst. But
yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I understand where they're coming from. At least when people are like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, I get it. Like,
no, like I completely understand like why someone would not want to fucking deal with that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's more of a headache than it's worth.
It is. It definitely is. And like the thing I'll say, like, kind of counteracting about that is just, you know, there's been a lot of good too. Like I think there's some really good representation in. There's some really good representation in our scenes, and we got people like Sonic Fox. We got people like we've got really good community leaders out there like busting their ass to get some better representation and people to be kind of visible and taken care of. And that's great. I think that's the way it should be. It's just at this point, like, you just have to take the bad and the good and eventually work through it, and those things will happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to pay all of the FGC in a negative light. We've had a rough couple 6 months here, but that's just being honest. Like, we've had a rough 6 months. It's been kind of shitty, but like for the most part, the FGC does good. The FGC does stick around and support its people. And like you said, we do have good community leaders. We have people like Sonic Fox, St. Cola, and Classico in Chicago. BJ Callisto doing the streams for you guys down there. Guys here in Michigan like Jay Gary and Haley, or not Haley anymore, but Mia, who run Michigan Masters, who are like a good positive force pushing the scene. We've got people all over. We've got like Bodied Novel doing like the unsung hero of the FGC for top tier GG. And he's like quickly rose up as like a pretty good force of just like letting people have a voice and like telling a lot of stories that you don't really get to hear around the FGC. Shout outs to Eli and all the stuff that he does. We definitely have good representation. We're definitely, I would say, of any esport, heavy quotation marks, esport, we probably have the most diverse representation. And for the most part, we do treat our people pretty well. Hopefully that continues or even gets better. Please God gets better. But I think we do a pretty good job.
I mean, we do. The big thing that I've been thinking a lot about recently is just like, man, we don't play Blizzard games right now. Yeah. So
yeah, that's true. Look,
we got that going for us.
Yeah, exactly. We're not out here defending Blizzard. That's been the funniest fucking thing, man. All these people that like up in arms, like boycotted Blizzard, deleted their accounts and all this shit. And I get it, good for you guys for taking a stand. But then, like, as soon as everything gets announced and all these motherfuckers like, how do I get my Blizzard account back? Oh, you sons of bitches. Oh, y'all.
Yeah, God, I saw that. I saw that post floating around. It was just like, man, press F to pay respect.
It's big fat Fs.
Oh. Yeah, it is a real shit show, but
I mean, money changes people, I guess. Money and fancy new games really changes people. What can you do? It is what it is. But look,
yeah,
fuck them people. This is the Seth Series show right now.
It is like we have our weird moments, but like we get there.
Yeah, we get there. Exactly, we get there. Well, fuck, man. Look, we'll spin it. Positive light. We're bringing the show back around. So if you started in the FGC around 2016, which is like 3 years ago, I have to imagine there was a lot of shit before that, especially if you started with like Persona 4, I assume you had some kind of background in Persona. What is your like video game history, or what got you into video games in the first place? Like, what were your first video games?
I mean, I've been playing since I was a kid, but like the other thing too is just like it's like I've always played video games. It was just kind of my outlet growing up. But the other side of that too is just, funny enough, Persona 4 Arena was my first Persona game, which is.
Oh, okay, all right.
I've got a video about that I'm kind of working on right now. I've spent the last like month and a half kind of trying to finish the third Persona game, which I already have like 6 pages of thoughts just kind of written out that I'm thinking about. But so that's that. Like, there's that, and then like prior to like actually being into FGC stuff, like I just played a bunch of JRPGs, and like I play a bunch of JRPGs. I used to be pretty into shooters. Like I played a lot of Destiny when it came out, and like a lot of Diablo. Like I like really heavy multiplayer stuff. Like I I like cooperative games a whole lot. So that's just been that's always been my focuses.
Okay, all right. That's I. It's always interesting for me to hear like all kinds of different backgrounds because we've had some people on there like I only played RPGs until like 2014 when I picked up Street Fighter 4, and then like I haven't touched an RPG since. So I'm always curious as to like where people started and like if earlier you mentioned that you see you're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel as far as your FGC career goes. Fuck words. As far as your FGC career goes, you know, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see like the end is probably coming in the near future as you rebrand and go forward. What does the future hold for Seth Series? Are you going to stay within the video game market? Are you shifting towards other things?
I mean, so like I'm still gonna sit there and like I'm still gonna play fighting games and still have fun. It's just like the amount of time that I'm spending traveling and like putting like because I mean this speaks a little bit to like my life and how easy it is because I get an hour. I was gonna say an hour of Street Fighter Five is different than an hour of Persona. So like I definitely have more time and more ability to work around like that. Excuse me. So that's one of the big things that kind of makes a factor of it. Like once everything and like once I kind of some stuff around, that's going to change and get some things that are fixed and get everything taken care of. I just kind of have to figure it out. And I have some ideas for what my content, like what I want to make is. It's just at this point, like I just at this point I really need to like sit down and look at it. And like I'm fishing ideas right now. I'm like making a bunch of stuff and like kind of writing more, and whatever happens with that happens. Like I am an IT administrator in the city of Chicago, so like I'm not doing bad with my life. I just have to just try to see like what side hustle works and what else I can do.
Yeah, definitely. Well, whatever you move forward to, I wish you the best. I will say I did listen to your episode on RSF Radio because I listened to every single one. As much as Nogoremi tries to put me to sleep, I do listen to every episode. That's just I just like to fuck with him that way. I know he's gonna listen to this because he listens to a lot of these episodes, so I know he's gonna hear it and go, "Hey, that fucker." But Nogoremi knows that I love him, so it's fine. Anyway, and as you were talking about rebranding, and you were like, "I'll probably do rebranding." I was like, "Seth Series," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" If you do something Gundam themed, which you had talked about, I was like, "Please say Seth Series new or new Seth Series," and you did, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, new Seth Series!" Oh god, look, that's the way to go. If you're letting me, and you should choose a new name for you, new Seth Series is the fucking way to go. That's the one.
Yeah. The only other thing I've like thought of is like High New Seth Series, but I just it's just a weird branding thing and I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I definitely like the Gundam theme and Double Zeta Seth Series or Seth Series ZZ or a bunch of other stuff. Like I just have to find the one that works for me.
Yeah. I mean, you could go Seth Series Big Zam if you want to go big. If you want to go real fucking big, Seth Series Big Zam is the way to go. Like, that's just me.
Oh no! If we're gonna go stupid big, If we're gonna go stupid big, I just want to look at the Dendrobium stamen. I don't know how to make that my name, but I'm going to make that.
But look, we'll make it happen. I just recently played Gundam Battle Assault 2 for the first time in like 20 years. And so refreshing like my memory of all the previous Gundams that I used to love and like playing that game, I was like, fuck man. Gundam's so cool.
That game is so funny because the American and the Japanese versions are two different games.
Oh, really?
All of the stuff, like there are multiple units in the American release that are reskinned units from shows that just kind of didn't show up in America.
Right.
So, like, I think the Wing Gundam is supposed to be you can alter the code to get the original Double Zeta back in, but there's a couple of units that just like there are a couple of units in there that are just that are different things in Japan that are just reskinned, and it's super cool.
Okay, all right. I like in that game that you can combo from like a crouching light or a crouching heavy like into lights. So like with Wing Gundam, you'll do like crouching heavy, slide twice into light into gun, and just like a whole health bar disappears, and it's the best.
Oh, that game is busted and stupid, and I love it to death. It's great.
Actually, RF Hacker that's in the chat right now is the one that played with me. So like seeing New Gundam again and like Hydra Gundam's mad busted. Fuck Hydra Gundam. And like Psycho Gundam, which is just like has infinite armor. And he just like takes no hit stun with the fucking best. I don't know. That game is mad fun. Everyone go play Gundam Battle Assault 2. I'm not gonna say you have to pirate it, but I will say, you know, if you don't want to go hooking up a PS1 and whatnot, I'm not gonna tell you not to. Game's fun as shit. Find a way to play it.
I'm gonna make a controversial statement and say that you should play Gundam Versus on the PS4, a perfectly fun and serviceable arena fighter.
I have never even heard of it until right now. So give me the details.
Okay, so like the one you should actually play, and it's the one I like the more, is it's Gundam Extreme Versus Full Boost on the PS3.
Okay.
And that game is a 3D arena fighter, but it is fast and snappy in a way that other Gundam games are not. Like, it is very high paced, very, very high tension, and it is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorites. I love it.
Okay, all right, I'll check it out.
But if you want one that is not a Japanese import and probably a lot easier and cheaper to find, you can get Gundam Versus for probably like $20 at any GameStop, and it's a little bit slower, which is something I'm not super into myself. But you know, it's a good game. Okay.
Well, as someone who fucking spent a good majority of my life playing Armored Core for a long time, I'm alright with slower mech fighters. Like, I'll get down. I'll figure it out. I got no problem with it. Armored Core was my shit back in the day. Armored Core Master of Arena and, like, Nexus and 2. Played the fuck out of those games. I'm a sucker for mech games. I don't know what it is. Something about a big robot that you can customize. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I'm all in. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. Like I kind of grew up watching mecha anime, and it's one of my favorite things.
I need to play.
And so I don't get really good food in terms of like other mecha games. So like when I get good, I go in.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. We don't have a lot. Like Daemon Ex Machina just came out on the Switch, and I'll probably pick that up like because it's made by the guys that made Armored Core. But like other than that, and like the occasional dusting of Gundam games that we don't get a lot of cool big mecha games anymore. That makes me sad.
We really don't. And like I'm hoping FromSoft takes a break from Souls, or just makes the Armored Core Souls mix that we all want.
If I get an Armored Core Souls game, I might just I'll leave the FGC. Like I'll become a full-time fucking Armored Core Souls like player. Like that's all I'll do. That's all I'll do. How could I not? Fuck, man, that'd be so cool. Picking up like bolts and like energy microns and shit like that instead of souls and bloodstones. Oh fuck, goddamn! Now you got me all excited. Fucking goddamn it! Oh, that would be the best. Please, for the love of God, FromSoft. Whatever it takes, we'll make it happen. Anyway, all right. Sorry. Before I keep salivating over this shit. So you've were you at Combo Breaker this year?
I was.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought I remembered you. You had said something on Twitter, or maybe I had seen you there. But at the time, we were just passers-by, ships in the night. If I did see a Combo Breaker. That being said, have you gotten to travel outside of the Midwest? Is there a best event that you've been to?
So Combo Breaker is always like my favorite event. It has always been that way, and. So I'm from Tennessee, and before that, like my main events were KIT, Final Round, and whatever bullshit Big E was doing, and because they were all horrible.
Right.
And I have a very specific ire for like Shin Blanca Big E events because they are not good.
Big words incoming. Hot damn. That's okay. I have no preference. I don't have a dog in the fight, so I don't give a shit. You can say whatever you want. I don't care.
It's just one of those things of like I've had the experience of being with really good tournament organizers. Like I've been to tournaments run by Vandy, who does like Kumite in Tennessee, Kumite in Texas, Midwest Championships, a bunch of stuff like that. And all of his events have been they're very well run. They are super enjoyable, and I've never had a bad time with it. And when you have access to good TOs, and especially now when especially now when I am at a point in my life where I have Rick as a TO, where I have a bunch of people that are continuously, I have access to really good TOs and really good bracket runners and people who run really good tournaments. It makes it really difficult to continue to support bad events.
Okay.
And like there was definitely like some talk around like Canada Cup where people were like, lap cheat. Like I think there was like a bit of a hard line between like, what is and is not appropriate. Like there was some I think there was some definitely like not okay shit said about lap cheat. But I think one of the problems with that too is like that conversation kind of drowned out legitimate critique of an event that has been a shit show 2 years in a row. Which like this year I heard it was really good. So that's I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm glad Canada Cup went well. I don't want it to fail, but like I do want people to be held accountable when things go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. To their credit, they brought in Alex Valle, and he helped run the event a little bit, and it's kind of really did transform what the event was last year into what seemed like a great event this year. We got a ton of awesome moments out of it. We got Brutus and Kichipamu in their mirror match, which was great. We got Serial Blast pop off and like OCVing against what was it, the Japanese team. It seemed like a great event. So here's hoping that they are trending upwards. But I agree. Lepchi has done some shit in the past that he kind of has to answer to. That being said, I don't, like you said, I don't think an entire event should be taken away or destroyed because of some things that were done. There's always a time and a place for action and judgment against someone for what they've done. But on the flip side, like you also have to understand that people can grow and get better, and there's a time for forgiveness as well. So here's hoping.
I mean, the way I feel about it is like I don't ever want to see an event fail. Like I think it's super important, and like as much as like I have some thoughts on what maybe should and should not be on the Capcom Pro Tour with as many fuck ups as there's been. Yeah, that's a different conversation. What I do think though, and that's something that's like really important, is like I think that there is a way there's a way to voice your concerns about an event without. Like, I think that you should be allowed to voice your concerns about an event. I think that you should be able to, it's right to be frustrated about an event, but you can do that without, like, death threats and stuff.
Right, yeah, don't fucking do death threats, you bunch of goddamn heathens. What's wrong with you? Shit. This is where you want to be when Jesus comes back, making death threats online? Fuck. But there's always accountability that can be held. And people do have to serve up for their actions. But that being said, here's hoping that Lapchi does get better in the future and continues to provide an event like this year that seemed to run well and do well, and pay their. As long as he pays the competitors, organizers, streamers, shit like that. Look, there's not much more we can do. As long as people get paid and shit's taken care of, I don't expect them to go out in the streets and fucking beg for forgiveness. Do it through actions, not your words. But, yeah, man, here's hoping that they get better. And, maybe next year we'll take a trip up there. That'd be awesome. I think I'll go to Canada Cup. That'd be a fun time. But, is there... Okay, so sorry. So we got fucking derailed. Derailed as shit.
It's okay. I would rather conversation flow better and go off topic than be rigid and stick to a script.
That's what I'm saying. I would much rather do that. I just hate when I talk myself into a fucking corner and I go, fucking shit. All right, next thing, because I do that. People that listen to the fucking show know I do fucking talk myself into a corner. But so yeah, I want to talk about great events like Combo Breaker. But is there an event that you haven't been able to go to yet that you've wanted to go to? One that's on the list be it international or here in the United States?
Yeah, so I definitely at some point like I kind of want to take a trip to Japan. I think that's super important. That's like very important to me and something I personally want to do. So I would like to make Evo Japan. You know, for the longest time, like I really thought about I thought that I wanted to go to Evo and that I wanted to like I thought that I wanted to go to Evo and I thought that and I thought that was what I wanted because like I've been trying to get out of pools for as long as I have, and you know, at a certain point that happened, and then this year with Evo, I saw a lot of things that just kind of I saw a lot of things that I just was not okay with, and you know, now that like regular Evo has kind of gotten axed off the menu for me. Evo Japan is something I would like to go to. I'm still like I'm still a little uncomfortable like giving my money to the cannons. If I were really going to do anything like and just have my cake and eat it, I'd actually like to go to the Tokyo Game Show Major. So
okay, yeah, that'd be a fucking sick one. I could definitely get out with TGS. TGS looks fucking great every year.
Yeah, TGS always looks good. Not like I know they have their show day, and so I just want that's something I definitely want to mess with.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be in Vegas with the man who has appeared at TGS, old No Good Citizen there, who was there for Metal Gear Online back in the day, or yeah, MGO when like Metal Gear had a multiplayer component. He could tell you all about it. That story is fucking fascinating. I think they took second place or something like that. Him and his team did.
That's wild.
That's back in the day. If you look at pictures of like No Good Citizen back then, when he's looking like Black Dogora with like his long ass hair, that's a fucking wild time.
Oh man, I cannot imagine Joe in anything other than like I can't imagine him like not in his current look, and that's crazy to me.
It is my favorite fucking thing. He posted the picture of that while they were over there, and he's got like long, like silky black hair, and it fucked with me when I saw it. I was like, "There's no way that's the same No Good Citizen that I know." And sure as shit, man, it looks like a Black Dogora, and it's very fucking funny to me. It fucking cracks me up. I think I have the picture. I'm not at liberty to post it, so I won't. But just know that it definitely exists out in the world. Fucking no good. Jesus Christ. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that boy. But shout outs to him and his grind too, because he's doing really well.
Yeah. Oh man. No, like Joe and I have just kind of built this like. Joe and I have kind of built up this like very aggressive kind of training relationship together, and it's something that I'm like super happy for because he's such a good he is such a good training partner.
Yeah, him and I have gotten in sets together. Not recently. I think it's been about a month or two since me and him have played. But goddamn, if he's not one hell of a training partner to be with, and the dude's funny as hell. So like, even if you're like me and getting your ass beat, like at least he can lighten up the conversation a little bit and like I don't know, crack a couple jokes and like I don't get as fucking salty, especially losing to goddamn G. But that being said, yeah, man, he's a great fucking guy, and I see you two on Twitter going back and forth all the time, and I know he wrote a big appreciation post today about training partners and stuff like that, and had mentioned you in there. So fucking keep doing what you guys are doing, man, because obviously it's fucking working. Y'all are some of the more talented people that we have in the Midwest, and hopefully y'all can go and show out at North American Regional Finals and fucking have yourself a great time.
So something I like legit want to say about that too is I legit think that so like I Joe and I are definitely like talented. Like Joe and I are talented, and like I can't speak for him in his area and everything else. But I I am like the tip of the iceberg here in Chicago. Like I actually consider myself like of our stronger players. Like I actively think I'm probably one of the weakest. And like I said, for everything that I am and for like all the things that are sitting around and the things that are like the talent that is here and the people that are growing and getting stronger are terrifying. And as much as I want to let people know about, like, I think the more that Chicago players travel, the more people are going to realize just kind of exactly what has been hiding in the Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, man, oh man, do we have some scary monsters out here that are really fucking good and that are really starting to make a mark on the scene. Listen, I'm not going to downplay you in your skills and call you the weakest of the top players that you guys have in the area. Because that's not the point of the show. I'm not going to fucking step on my guests here on the show. But, I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I think anyone from the Midwest, or like a team of 5 from the Midwest could compete against a team of 5 from anywhere else in the United States and a good portion of the world. And, you know, of the Midwest, Chicago is, if I, like, the top 3, I think the strongest areas in the Midwest, Chicago 1, Minnesota 2, and then I think Detroit is at 3rd. Detroit, Minnesota might go back and forth. But Chicago, by far, like, and you guys have the results to prove it and to show for it. The Chicago area is definitely the strongest part of the Midwest scene. There's no hiding that, you know. We've had successes. You know, you recently, like I said, being sponsored for the North American Regional Finals because people want to see you succeed because they know how good you are. Dual Kevin going out on Street Fighter League, taking 5th at CEO with a hellacious comeback in top 8 was fucking excellent. People from all over in the Chicago area are fucking tearing it up and making a mark, and it's awesome to see. It really, really is. So here's hoping, man. Like, here's hoping as it grows, like, people come to realize that we really do have a strong, strong scene here that will, or can and will, beat anyone that you throw at us. And it's, yeah, we're pretty damn good. And I don't mind throwing that shit out there. If y'all want anything to say, if you want to come at me, direct all your tweets at SethSeriesMKII on Twitter. He will take all complaints. Don't throw your shit at me, because I'm not going to hear it.
I absolutely will mute tweets.
Oh, fuck, man. It's important to fucking mute recently. It's Jesus Christ in heaven. You know, because I don't want to give a hard block to people, because sometimes they might say some shit that I'm like, maybe they have something to say. But man, oh man, that mute button comes in handy. Fucking hell.
Oh, dude, I got some real weird DMs this week on just between my Twitter and between like just on PSN, and that's been an interesting thing. Surprisingly enough, I kind of, for some of the things that I may have said on the RSF radio podcast, I did not get near as much shit as I thought I would.
You know, it's because, listen, I'm not gonna blow on RSF too much more, but generally, for the most part, the people that listen to that podcast are people that are generally interested in, like, growth of the scene and, like, have good ideals. Fuck, man, I don't know. It makes it sound like I'm, like, really, really bowing down to the fan base of that podcast, but, like, I think a lot of people that do listen to that show have a really good, like, grounded idea of what the FGC is and what it can be and what it can do. So when you have someone like you that goes on there and says the things that, like, you do, which none of it was too inflammatory, generally people agree with you for the most part, you know? Like, you were pretty articulate and you did, like, really, I don't know, lay out a lot of things that you felt passionate in your heart. And I don't think anyone can fault you for speaking how you see things and how you feel about things.
I mean, definitely. Like, it was definitely one of the things where it's just like, hey, you know, I am maybe I don't think the opinions I expressed are, like, super against the grain in regards to, like, just in regards to, like, where everyone is kind of at with some things, but I do think that like the people who would take offense to what I said are the people who would not like what I say are the people who are very loud.
I mean, it's always a very very loud minority though, isn't it? Like, even though like there's one really obnoxious asshole who's gonna say something, it's generally confined to like one or two people who just really want to get their shitty message out there.
Oh yeah, and it's always some asshole who wants to tell you not even so much that you're wrong, but like you're what's wrong with fighting games, and just it's such a fucking shit show. Like I really try to give my like I try to be. I think that if you're gonna cut, like, I will meet someone in the middle and like have earnest conversations. Like I think that if you're willing to sit down and have a talk and like you're legit willing to meet me in the middle, you know, I'm willing to have those conversations, but it's like when things start to just go when things just get too much and when people just don't want to have when people don't want to have conversations in good faith, I have no patience for it.
Right. It's if you're gonna have a like if let's say you and I, we disagree on something. If you are really passionate about something and I want to be passionate about something, we both also have to be willing to concede certain points and, like you said, meet in the middle. Because you're really not going to grow if you don't. Like, you're going to go your opposite ways. You're going to feud at each other. You're going to fume about what the other person said. And you're not really going to have any kind of grasp of, like, what the world is outside of your viewpoints. And that's not any way to, like, grow as a human being. Or, like, accept that there are things in the world that you might not agree with. And, yeah, I don't know. Just fucking be better. Like, you really have to look at yourself and internalize, like, maybe there's some shit that I said that was wrong. Like, maybe I am wrong about some things. And I wish more people would do that. Internalizing things is very important. And it's very fucking hard for people to come across and do that for themselves. When they treat so much of the, like, external problems, like, instead of internalizing and being like, maybe I was wrong or maybe I thought about this differently than I should have, it's a lot of like, well, the world is wrong. I'm still right. So fuck off. And that's no way to be. That shit makes me mad crazy.
I mean, like, here's the thing that I've kind of just got I just have a personal belief in, and it's just that I am, for all intents and purposes, I am like a very schlubby white dude. And I like that makes me easy to approach. Like, I pass for straight even though I'm not. And it's just I pass for straight even though I'm not, and it's easy for someone to approach me and talk to me about things. And so, before I came out, I considered myself an ally, and at that point it was a matter of just like I've gone from being the supporter to being to where I can inform people, and I feel like if you want to sit down and have like a real honest conversation with me, I will give you that time of day. If you want to have those conversations and if you want to have these conversations with me and you want to give this just an actual, like a real honest chance, I will have that talk with you. So the problem I kind of have is just, I don't know how many people are really willing to have that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. But it's, I don't know if it's a necessary evil or something we just kind of have to deal with. But I really wish more people would be open to having that conversation. But if we are going to be honest, if we are going to have an open conversation, I kind of want to ask you, like, as an out member of the LGBT crew, and also part of the FGC, like, has that created any hurdles for you, or like has that like been negative in any experiences that you've had within the FGC?
I mean, not really. So like, here's the thing: our scene is very accepting and very just easy to work with, and they're easy to work with, and I think that that's super important, and it's important to have. So I've never felt like I've had problems like being an out queer person. I just think that I've never had those problems, but I think that it's very hard to be out, and I think that I don't know what it's like for someone who's gone through like severe persecution to look at everything going on and want anything to do with it. Because the conversation of just ignore the Twitch chat is, I'm glad that works for some people, but it's really hard to enjoy a game and just see the shit show that it is.
Yeah.
So in its own way, like I'm very blessed in the fact that like I've had a fairly smooth transition in, and like even when I came out, I had people who were supportive of me and that I could rely on. I've never had an issue with anyone in the FGC, like in regards to my personal sexuality, but
It's just it's something that I'm always curious about. I've had a couple good friends of mine who I won't name names, because that's not right for them to me. Just go like outing their experiences. But I have had a good couple friends who are out and who are in the FGC who are like, it's sometimes it fucking sucks, because people are not intolerant, but like kind of ignorant, to that like kind
I mean,
of shit.
I definitely think there's a lot of ignorance within the FGC, and I don't know that I think it's malicious. I just think it's like the way I've always looked at the FGC is just, I like it's a very, if I could describe it as anything, like it's very hip hop. It's very kind of, it's a grassroots thing, and it's like there's a grittiness to it and a lot of just a lot of kind of build up to that, and like I said, there's the FGC is very hip hop, and that comes with both the positive and negative connotations of that.
Right.
And so you do have a lot of older people who do talk like that and who do like just never changed, and those are people who are older who never like had those experiences. And like I'm from Tennessee. I've seen a lot of bigotry and a lot of hatred and a lot of just gross things. But on the other side of that, I've also, because of that, like I fully believe that like a lot of that just kind of has to do with people not being exposed to things and not actually having a chance to deal with that and like have those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, it generally that's what it is. A lot of people haven't had exposure to it, and so it's kind of a culture shock when they are, and it's kind of hard for them to adjust without never having to have done that. Like, if there was someone, I'm sure that if someone else, like in my position, you live in a small town, like an all-white town for the most part, you've been here for 29 years, and then you go off to like a fucking FGC event, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by all kinds of different people, all kinds of races and genders and sexualities, and it's very hard for a lot of those kind of people to adjust without like a few speed bumps along the way, and also like being willing to adjust because they've never had to before. But for those that do, I appreciate the fuck out of them. And as RF Hacker says in the chat, he appreciates the fuck out of you and says you're very down to earth, and we love RF Hacker around here too. So thank you, Hacker. Thank you for the nice compliments to Seth.
I really appreciate it, and like I think being approachable and being down to earth and having those conversations we don't get places without them. That's the big conversations that we need to be having, and that it's hard for people to find.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, those are just the conversations we're gonna have to keep having, and as things come and as things change, we'll get it taken care of, and we'll get things knocked out. And I legitimately believe the FGC has the ability to change and be better. It's just a matter of how long is that going to take.
Yeah. Sometimes, man, fucking moves at a snail's pace for this shit. Makes me nuts. We want balance changes and nerfs and buffs immediately, but as far as changing ourselves, fucking never.
Yeah, that all of those that's the one thing that like I'm gonna out myself as being like kind of an asshole, but fuck it.
That's all
I
right.
I am so fucking tired of the discourse that's gone on around just like how we accept new games or how we look at things, how these questions are answered and have these conversations. Because everything I've seen this week has just been people saying the dumbest fucking shit humanly possible, and I cannot. Like, I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of seeing people have these conversations, and I think there's a gold rush to get these bad opinions out and to just have these like really spicy things to say, and just the more I hear about it and the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, man. There's so many where I'm like, you don't believe this shit. Like, you're just fucking speaking this into the world for a reaction. Like, there's no fucking way you believe this. And like, then they just steer so hard into it when people call them out. They're like, I think they convince themselves that they believe it, and then they're just fuck. Like the Guilty Gear, like the new Guilty Gear things. People losing their fucking minds for a game that's not even out yet. For a game that probably won't come out for at least another year. And Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like
It never ends.
crazy. Crazy to me. I don't get it. Like if I'm not saying I want Street Fighter 6 because I fucking don't. Like I love Street Fighter 5. I'm enjoying my like Street Fighter 5 and everything that's given me. If Street Fighter 6 gets announced, next week at the North American Regional Finals, I'll go, "Hey man, like I can't wait." We'll see what it brings. I won't sit here and go, man, fuck that. It's different from what I'm used to. It changes this, changes that. Like, every Street Fighter has been so vastly fucking different. Like, Alpha 3 had, like, air blocking and alpha parries and shit like that. Or alpha counters. And Street Fighter 3 had parries and, like, from second impact to third strike is fucking very fucking different. And then from third strike to 4 is so different, and from 4 to 5 is completely different. And so to judge these games like as they evolve and as they change compared to an earlier version is so very fucking idiotic. Like it's so short-sighted, and just people can't see the forest for the trees, and I really wish they could. I really wish they could.
I agree, and it's just we're gonna keep having these conversations as much as it takes, and it's just a matter of it's just gonna take time and effort to get everything fixed. So
Yeah, and for the same people that are having those conversations of like, I fucking hate this new game, I hate how this is going, blah 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 blah. Like, you and I will be having the same conversations of these dumb motherfuckers won't shut up, like, and we keep going round and round, and hopefully if we eventually it'll get better. Like, hopefully it'll get better. But we'll see. We'll see where that path goes. Again, I want to reiterate, for anyone that wants to ask any questions, we're doing things a little bit differently tonight. Donate $1. We will answer any fucking question you throw at us. All money that we raise tonight will go directly towards the RSF sponsorship, towards sending Seth Series, Amezi, and No Good Citizen out to the North American Regional Finals. I will not take any of it. I fucking promise you. I will show receipts. God damn it. I might need money. I don't need money that bad to be stealing from charity. That's fucking rude. That's I almost said something really bad. All right, hold on. Woo.
can't believe you're dropping gamer words.
I know. It wasn't going to be a gamer word. I'll tell you that much. I almost insulted a personal friend of mine who doesn't listen to the show, and no one would know who it is. But I almost.
But you would know, and that's
yeah. But I would know, and that'd be really fucking shitty. Because I don't even think bad about that person. It's just an in joke. Hold on. Hold on. RF Hacker in the chat. Not donating with bits. Just straight donations. So like right below the video, there's like a little donation link. On the left hand side in the little tip jar. If you're gonna throw some money in the tip jar, $1, ask us a question, we will answer anything and everything. That's just how we're going to do questions for tonight because we're trying to raise money. We're trying to get our boys out to Las Vegas to represent us well. If you guys do want to donate with bits, that's fine. Just make sure it adds up to like $1, and then I'll cover whatever it is into the donation. Which shouldn't be that hard. I think I can do math. I might play Abigail, but I can do a little bit of math. That's just how that goes. So how did you stumble into Cody? This has been something that I'm always very curious as to how people pick their shit. But as I'm staring more at this design that's on the screen, how did the pick for Cody come about?
So I played Cody in Street Fighter 4 and really enjoyed it. For what, like, I wouldn't call myself competitive in Street Fighter 4, but I definitely, I played Street Fighter 4 and I enjoyed my time with it. And I think that character just kind of has like a swagger and just like there is no other characters that do what he does as cool as he does. And so when I started playing Street Fighter, and when I started doing, like, when he got announced, like, I always told myself, I was like, Cody gets announced, that's who I'm playing. And then I was at Combo Breaker the year Cody got announced, and it was just like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I used to be a Laura player, and that's which took some time. Like, getting to where I needed to be and getting to where I wanted to be were two very different things. And eventually it worked. Like, eventually I got to where I needed to be, and it took me about 6 months of like really dedicated playing Cody to get to where I wanted to be. And now I'm there, and just like I said, like, my philosophy on that character is like, that character is super versatile, has a lot of things that he can do. And I think that if I'm going to play this character, I want to play with swagger. Like, I want to be able to like sit there and just, when you watch a match with me, like, I want you to be entertained. And so that just kind of like describes my philosophy, like, as I play and as I do things, because I'm always having fun when I play. I'm always having fun when I play. There's always the frustration, but like, anytime I show up on RSF, or like anytime you see a clip from me, like, I want it to be the goofiest, just kind of wild thing going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 3 command grabs in the RSF highlight that you had, like, what was it, a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Against Mike. That shit was the best. I was so happy. Fucking, especially like against when he was using Akuma at the time. I don't think he was on. I don't think he was on Courtin yet. And like watching Akuma's health just fucking disappear. Oh shit, that made me so happy.
I mean, like, real talk. Mike thinks I don't like him, but that's not true. I don't ever want to play Mike. But I think that's a reasonable thing against. I think it's reasonable to not want to fight Zangief. That's my hot take for the day. But I like Mike a lot, and I actually respect his play a lot. It's just that, like, sometimes you get mad, and then Mike was not playing Zangief, so I decided to do to Mike what Mike has been doing to all of us for a very long time. And so I was just like, I got 2. I'm going to mix this up a little bit so it looks like I'm going for a setup, and I'm going to get him again. And it happened. It's great. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I was like watching it like back. I was like, oh fuck, it's happening. Oh, like there's the second one. Oh fuck, the third one hit, and then he just died. And I was just so fucking happy. And I love Mike. Mike's a good guy, and his Zangief is fucking, it's excellent. He's one of the top 10 in the world on CFN. I think he's like 5th or 6th now. But goddamn.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Hey, we have the first one in. RF Hacker, thank you very much.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, I missed the question. So I'll go back and look at it now. In a fighting game that featured only famous women, scientists, activists, actresses, Who would you want featured, and who would you play as? Ooh, shit.
Okay.
All right.
I have answers for this one.
Oh, hit me. Hit me.
So if I'm gonna if I were personally you want my roster of 8.
Sure, yeah, we'll go with 8. We'll go with the original World Warriors.
We got Dolly Parton. So we got Dolly Parton. We got
Dolly Parton.
We got Sigourney Weaver.
Oh fuck, I'm in. All right, yep, all in.
We got the lady what played Mako in Pacific Rim. I can't think of her name.
Fuck, I can't think of her name either. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. I got. I have Riho from All Elite Wrestling.
Okay.
That's 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sakura Emi from All Elite Wrestling.
All right. So we got 2 AEW stars. Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
You can tell where my tastes align. And I'm gonna say we've got. Thinking.
Look, it's all right. I'm gonna throw in Harriet Tubman. I want Harriet Tubman in the game.
All right. If we're gonna do a historical figure, Betsy Ross is gonna go in there.
All right, I'm down with Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross, listen. Oh, Betsy Ross versus Rio. I'm already in.
And I think my third one, my final one, is gonna be E, and I'm gonna main Dolly Parton.
Oh, fucking. All right, so I don't know if you know this. Dolly Parton, wonderful woman.
Dude, I am from Knoxville, Tennessee, which is a 30-minute drive from Sevierville, Tennessee.
Where Dolly
brother, let me fucking tell you. Saying bad things, I am very, billionaires should not exist. I am very, socially left, all that stuff, very, socialist Democrat, billionaires are bad. With that said, if you say anything bad about Dolly Parton, I will personally fist fight you.
Dolly Parton is the fucking best. She has a program called Dolly Parton Books for Kids, and she sends my daughter, well, not her personally, but her charity, sends my daughter a book a month, every month until she's 5.
That stuff is amazing. I love Dolly Parton. That's the weirdest thing to say, but so this is a small story. So when I was a little bit younger and my grandmother was still alive, I took my grandmother to a Dolly Parton show, and it was her birthday, so I got her the nice tickets, and she got to meet Dolly afterwards. And so my grandmother and Dolly Parton are not too dissimilar in age. So my grandma sat and talked with Dolly Parton sat down there and talked with my grandmother for way longer than she was expected to, and it was just two old Southern women just swapping stories of the old days. And I just that woman is such a treasure and does so much good in the community, and love Dolly Parton to death.
Yeah, look, you'll never hear me argue against Dolly Parton. I hope Dolly Parton, fucking RF Hacker in the chat says the screen goes black, she smacks you up before she puts her makeup on. I hope she has a raging demon, and she fucking after she beats your ass, screen comes back up and there's a pile of books on you, and she's dressed and ready to go. I fucking hope. That's what I want. I want her to have a raging demon. Oh, fuck, that'd be awesome. I think I'd also have to go with Dolly. I think I would go with Harriet Tubman. I think Harriet Tubman would be out here whooping some ass.
Agreed.
Goddamn, that'd be awesome. RF Hacker wants Queen Latifah in the game. She can be DLC. She can be DLC. I'll allow it. I'll allow DLC for Queen Latifah. Can't argue against it. Fuck. Man. Harriet Tubman. I'm trying to think. Who else we have in this game for our 8? We got Harriet Tubman. That's the one I keep going back to. We got Dolly Parton. We got Rio. Who are our 8? Seth, help me. Who are our 8?
Dolly Parton, Riho.
Yep.
Sakura Emi.
Yep.
The lady what from the Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, fuck. I need to look up her name. Oh, Sigourney Weaver. Oh fuck.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. Oh fuck. I play Sigourney
Asuka,
Weaver.
Harriet Tubman, and Betsy Ross.
Yes. Oh fuck. Ah man, I might main Sigourney Weaver. If Sigourney Weaver has like an alien special, fuck, I might be all the way in. I believe the actress's name is Rinko Kikuchi.
That is exactly it.
All right. I got it. Hopefully I didn't butcher her name too much. But fuck man, I would definitely play Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver with the Xenomorph special, I'm all the way in. Give her like the flamethrower. Oh, fuck. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver all the way. Actually what I'm just asking for is Ripley from Aliens, but any Sigourney Weaver, I'll allow it. Oh man, that's a solid question. I would definitely have an all-female fighter that was just like famous women from across time, all over the place.
That would be pretty good.
I fucking solid. We gotta find a way to shoehorn in like Cleopatra has to be in there. Fuck. Who else has to be in there? I'm blanking right now, but like I know there's people I'm thinking of. Joan of Arc has to be in there. Joan of Arc would be fucking sick. Give me Joan of Arc versus Harriet Tubman. Joan of Arc versus Harriet Tubman. That's the name of the game. Everything else is fucking ancillary. I want the game to be called Joan of Arc versus Harriet Tubman. Damn it. A man can dream. A man can fucking dream.
You can.
God damn, what a world we live in. I forgot where the fuck we were. I got so lost in like imagining this fighter. Would it be a 2D fighter or a 3D fighter?
2D, definitely.
2D? Yeah, 2D makes sense. 2D makes sense. Maria of Spain, Elizabeth I or Elizabeth II, also solid. Could throw them in there. God damn, yeah, a 2D fighter, anime style. I think it has to be anime style. Oh shit! If we open up to more than 8, if we have like a 16 person like roster, we gotta have like a tag team roster, right? Like Marvel vs. Capcom style.
Yeah.
Because like I'm in for that. I'm in for like Betsy Ross and like Rosa Parks.
Very excited to find my team synergy of Asuka and Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking sick. I want Dolly Parton with probably with the Asuka assist. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Or like the Rinko assist. The Rinko assist would probably be the one. That'd be the one. God damn. Alright. Someone needs to teach me how to code so I can make this game happen. I'm not getting rights for anyone though, so like expect me to be sued into oblivion for like even suggesting that this idea is gonna happen.
Dolly Parton's estate will end us, but that's okay.
She's such a sweet woman, but I understand just to protect her rights.
Yeah.
Oh man, alright, so we've been going for like an hour 20 at this point. I've got no heart out, so don't think I'm rushing you at any point, but back on track just for a little bit. So you've been around the scene for about 3 years now, but you know you're in a heavily influenced scene in Chicago. You know you guys roll deep with a bunch of really good players, and you've seen all kinds of things all over the FGC. Do you have a favorite story that's come out of the FGC so far, be it personal or on a grander scale?
Okay, so here's the big thing, and I will say that is honestly, I think my favorite story is just kind of my personal favorite story is just kind of it's just Daigo. Like Daigo has always been my favorite. He's been why I've been watching. Like he's what got me into it, and I just think that like watching him go from this sage to kind of struggling to now he's just this weird old man, and
oh, sorry.
I like my actual favorite story is just kind of the arc that Punk has from early 2017 up until Evo. Like that's one of the like it is probably one of the best like FGC villain stories to it's one of the best FGC villain stories that ends with like it just creates a paradigm shift. Like it creates an entirely new way we look at all those things, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, for as much shit as Punk got, like when he first started really erupting onto the scene in like 2017, because you know he's been around for a minute, but like the tea bags like against Taquito in Evo before Grand Finals, like when he sent Taquito to losers, like really put a big fucking X, like a big target on his back. But like in Grand Finals, that really brought out the best in Taquito. Like Taquito landed that fucking stun combo with the taunt. Holy shit! You've never seen so many people lose their minds. Because we finally got like a real reaction out of like the Japanese FGC that we hadn't really seen at that time, you know. But his, I don't know, his growth and ascension has really helped. I wasn't trying to laugh at weird old man Daigo, but like he really is weird old man Daigo at this point, and I kind of love it. Like from the Cheez-Its picture to him popping off with Cereal Blast when he's obviously drunk as shit. Like to like him being drunk. I think it was at Dokura's wedding when he fucking threw the Sonic Boom like into the Monat, like reflect and just died.
Daigo wearing inappropriate clothing to Dokura's wedding is my favorite picture of Daigo.
Yeah, he's just that dude. That dude's the best. Like it was so weird to me, like seeing him outside of Combo Breaker, just like having a cigarette and like hanging out with everybody else. And then I was just like, no, that seems about right. Like that seems like Daigo, and like he even then is just like the coolest guy in any given room. He's just, I don't know, he's a fun guy to be around. And I can't, you can't really say too many negative things about Daigo. You know, he's never gone on like some weird tirade, like denouncing people. He's never like really been awful to anyone. He's always just been like Daigo, and he's been chill as fuck. I don't know. I enjoy him.
Yeah, Daigo's the best. And like there's a bunch of weird like arcs and sagas, especially with this game, and just like it really frustrates me because it's like, you know, it just really frustrates me because it's like, hey, you know, there's a lot of like I'm not like a Capcom apologist level because like there are some parts of this game. There are like a lot of things that I disagree with. But, you know, like, I think there are some really interesting and magical gifts, like, not gifts, like magical stories going on in the scene, and they just kind of get buried by some dumb bullshit.
Yeah, ain't that the fucking truth? I mean, it does, and it happens, and it sucks to see. But for every like shithead that tries to bury a story, we get like an awesome sequence, kind of like when we have Goichi versus Sonic Fox.
Okay.
That's like fucking. Oh Jesus Christ, we have another one coming in.
Goichi versus Sonic Fox is like actual low key. Like that's maybe one of my favorite arcs in all of fighting game. Like that one.
Yeah. Yeah. To see those two go back and forth and like the weird promo videos they have together, and Goichi finally beating Sonic. Well, not finally, but like getting his first Evo title and beating Sonic Fox this year. That, I don't know. Something about it. Just, it really fucking tugs at my heart. But, listen. Now, back to our question. Now we have more questions pouring in. They're pouring in, Jerry. Do you feel there's a limit to how much casual players can and should control the FGC? And can they have a part without being big committed players?
I mean, this is gonna take a minute because like I have some capital T fucking thoughts. That's
all right. Fucking spill it. I will say.
I think there's a place for everything, and I think there's a place. I think for what you want to do in the FGC, like there's a place for you. One of the big things that a big conversation we've had a lot recently is just kind of, what like top players need to be getting paid more, what's going on here, like what is like we had a bunch of talks about uh like venue fees and some stuff like that. And so alongside that, the conversation of like we should be charging more and those like like a lot of things that just kind of got switched around were you know like the conversations that got bounced around were just like at what point a lot of the sentiment kind of felt like casual players are here to create money and pools for are basically like to be consumed for top players to get paid, and I disagree with that a lot. I think that so when I say casual player, like I mean someone who is just out here having fun and taking care of stuff. When I think especially in regards to how this game kind of or how this question phrases on how this question phrases like who has so much control. Like on one hand, like I think that like in regards to balance, which is at least where I personally see this kind of question coming from, is that I think that you have to take all sorts of perspective on. You need to have a lot of perspective on how to balance the game. You need to get insight from people who are playing this game heavily and like get some ideas. You need to get ideas from spectators. You like I think you need to take advice from all of those things, but you need to weigh those advices a certain way and like you need to understand certain things. So personally, like I do think that casual players in the community have to say in things. I think they have the right to have decision makings in the game. And it's just but at the same time like it's also just y'all need like how much that weighs versus like intrinsic knowledge of the game needs to be weighed as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to process and make sure that what I say comes out the way that I want it to sound. I agree with everything that you say. I do think that the casual fan bases definitely make up a lot more of our audience in fighting games than we kind of realize. So it definitely is important for a company like Capcom or NetherRealm to kind of, on one hand, try to draw the casual player in and try to make money on some of those casual players, because there are a lot of casual players who are like, I don't play this game competitively, but like I will drop $40 on DLC costumes, where you get some like professional players or top players or players that are heavily in the scene who are like, I will play Ryu until the day I die because he's here right now in the game, and that's just who I main. Like that's just who I'm gonna play. But I do think it's very important as far as game balance goes, you never want to alienate the casual fan base to go like, oh, this is clearly like the top tier characters. I don't want to play against them. I don't want to do this because that's all I see. And like this whole game is flooded with X character. But on the same part, you don't want to overbalance or overchange or overpatch and overnerf some characters, because casual audiences who don't have a stake in money making from the game or like competing in the game to influence something like that, like it's definitely a give and take, like we were talking about earlier. Like being able to concede and meet in the middle is definitely a big part, and I respect the hell out of anyone that tries to do it, because it's a thankless fucking job and you'll never be able to completely please everybody. But casual fans definitely do have as much of a voice as high level competitors or competitors in general, I'll say. So I think it's important that like we let it be known that casual players do have a voice and they can be heard, and that they're not going to be shouted down. But when they go like, hey, like, would this change be alright, or like this is kind of what I want from the game, I think it's important for us to not go, fuck off, like you don't spend 20 hours a week like I do in training mode, like you don't get to say as much. I think that's we definitely don't want to shout those voices down and dissuade them from joining the FGC if that's like a potential career or like potential hobby in the future, you know. But that's about where I go with it.
Yeah. Like many things, there's a time and place. And like everyone deserves a say. It's just we need to understand like how much we those says and those conversations need to be weighted. And for as much stupid shit as, Twitch monsters or other people play, there is also some top players who say the most dumbest shit I've seen in my entire life.
Oh, fucking tell me about it, bro.
Can you imagine a fighting game balanced by Sanford Kelly?
No. Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Could you imagine a game balanced by F-Champ? Get the fuck out of here.
Sanford is an incredibly, it makes me upset because, Sanford is such a talented and a great player. I watched him smoke people at Combo Breaker. It's just excuse me. He has these moments where his mentality is amazing. Where it really seems like he's on the path, and then he kind of just pulls back out, and I hate it. Because the idea of just a Sanford who just kind of rolls with it and just keeps grinding and gets better. Oh man, I think he would be super I think that Sanford would be super fucking strong and actually dangerous in this game.
If he would stop bitching all the time.
I mean, yeah.
But no, I'm definitely with you there. I think Sanford could do really well. I think there's a lot of players that could do well if they would take their head out of their ass for 5 minutes. And if they don't want to do well at Street Fighter V, if they don't want to compete, if they don't want to grow in this specific game, that's fine. Just shut the fuck up. Please just shut the fuck up. If you have criticisms about the game, totally fine. You can go, hey, I don't like Street Fighter V because X, Y, and Z. But to go on Twitter and say some head-ass shit like Street Fighter V is the worst fighting game I've ever played, Street Fighter V is absolute fucking trash, blah, 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 blah. If all you're going to do is shout and scream without having any articulate points, please shut the fuck up. Oh, God. It makes me crazy. Makes me fucking crazy.
It really is. It's wild.
And if you're going to petition to what was it? If you're going to petition to have a Ken strike, maybe hold on to your Ken strike, Chris T. I don't know. That's just me.
Oh man, I have some real fucking problems with Chris T that are not appropriate for the show.
Nah, fuck, everything's appropriate for the show. I don't give a fuck.
No, they are actually not.
All right, we'll talk off camera. But yeah, he's another one that just look, man, I get it. You either do or you don't like the game, whatever. And there's a lot of outside shit that he fucking says that is wild as fucking shit. But just shut the fuck up.
The fucked up thing is Chris T is chasing relevancy in a scene that is leaving him behind.
Yeah.
And I think for the next game he is absolutely going to be in the same place that Sanford was, and I think Sanford is a better player than he is.
Yeah, I'll come out and say that. I think Sanford is an infinitely better player than he is because Sanford is willing to learn and adapt. Chris isn't. And we've seen that in his gameplay. We've seen that in his life. That's just who the fuck he is. So, I don't know. That's all I'll say on it. Before I keep digging this hole.
Before I get clipped before I get clipped out of context and someone's all in my stuff.
Yeah, look, if anyone wants to clip anything that's been said here today, and if you have any questions about it, you can bring it to me. I will talk to you, and I will tell you wholeheartedly everything that's in my heart. But don't be a fucking asshole and take it out of context and try to prove something. Because I'll say it. I've never shied away from that shit. It is what it is. Anyway, yeah. Moving on. Positivity show. Woo! we're up and coming, baby. We're all right. Now we are kind of coming up against it. So I will hit it back. I will ask our chat right now. Again, if y'all want to ask us any questions, throw us $1. $1 is all I ask from you. Throw us $1, and we will answer anything that you throw at us. Any money that we raise here today goes towards the RSF sponsorships, sending Seth Series, Amezi, and No Good out to the North American Regional Finals. Or you can donate directly at this link right here if you don't want to ask us a question. Boom, that's right there in the chat. Oh, good lord, I need some goddamn water because I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, I'm losing my voice at this point.
But before we get anything coming in, before I let you go, and I will let you get some water soon, I promise you. What is something that's on your mind lately? This is your opportunity to get anything that's on your mind off your chest, what you're thinking about, whether it be within the FGC or out of it. This is your platform to talk about whatever you're feeling right now.
Man, Persona 3 is a really good video game that I certainly have already written like 10 pages about. That's been the big thing, like, especially before, like, and I have something I'm actually going to say, but man, Persona 3 is a good video game.
Look, even if you want to leave it at that, totally fine. I get it.
The actual thing I'm going to say, and just like completely like on brand, like 100%. It is still kind of wild to me that I am going to Vegas next week, and just the idea that I am going to, like, that I am going to this event, that people came together to help, like, fund and vote and take care of everything, has just put me in a place that, like, I'm eternally grateful. And like, I personally like struggle with really bad depression and anxiety issues, and like every time I start hitting lows, and every time I hit lows, and every time I kind of start to like look around, like I look at that and like I see those people out there like excited to send me, Joe, and everyone else out, and everyone that is excited to have us go, like everyone that is excited for us all to go out there and be like, do this, and like being reminded that like I actually do have the community at my back for something like this. And like I keep seeing that, and like I get choked up. Like I've had moments where I've had moments where like I legit kind of just started crying in my car, because I'm just like thankful and blessed for the people who are super willing to just go ahead and do that work and do these things. And thank you. Like I don't really, like I've always been kind of the belief that like I'm going to just work my ass off, and whatever happens, whatever. Like, I was going to do my good in the FGC and just not get thanked for it, and I was cool with that. Like, I did what I could. I'll do what I can emotionally put forward, and that's cool. Like, that's fine. I'm good. And now, like, seeing people come together and things to just seeing things go well and seeing what that can turn into, like I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel like a little bit of weight on my shoulder for next week, but I'm really going to give it everything I have.
Well, you have the fucking strength of the community behind you. You'll have me cheering for you, and people 0-2 are fucking winning the whole thing. People want to see you succeed out there, man. And I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I can't thank you enough for fucking taking the time out of your day to do this, and wish you all the fucking best in the world. I hope you go out there and just fucking murder it. Just fucking murder. I hope you go out there and just kill it, man.
I'm excited. I have 2 Rashids in a row, one gold, Oil King. I'm gonna do everything in my power to scoop Oil King 3 times in a row.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna do it.
Listen, I hope you guys get on stream, and I hope we have a fucking repeat, and I hope you scoop the fuck out of him. I would be so excited. Look, Oil King, you're busted. You're old. You can't compete with the Midwest, Oil King. Kiss my whole ass.
I mean, like here's the actual thing is like I'm super excited, and like I've been joking about it on Twitter too, but like there's definitely about to be. I've been watching a lot of wrestling lately and been getting some ideas, and boy howdy,
You getting ready to cut a promo? Cause I am ready.
I might cut a promo this week, assuming my voice does not just die. But
I know. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. Like I came in knowing this. Like I knew. Like I came in ready to roll, and like I would like if I'm gonna lose my voice, this is how I'd like to do it. But I'm gonna cut a promo this week. I've been joking about it, but like especially after this, like. So I'm gonna break kayfabe for an event that just hasn't happened yet. But I think an important part of like the RSF sponsorship is like some other people do need to get some food in their mouths. It's a community voted thing, but in the future, like when they do those, like I'm going to abstain from the vote because I think new people deserve to get a chance and get this opportunity that I've gotten. But so next week, after North American regional finals, there's definitely going to be a heel turn. I've already written the Seth Series heel persona, and it's going to be real dumb.
Oh baby, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I
have some fucking bullshit to say. I have some ideas, and it's going to be real stupid.
Oh, I'm here for the heel turn. I can't wait to see it.
I can't play a piece of shit, but I can play like a good cocky villain.
See, I'm alright with the cocky villain as long as you stick to it, right? Like as long as you're like not a fucking shithead about it, and like you get real racist all of a sudden, because I can't support that.
No. There's none of that. But like, have I maybe been watching a lot of Kenny Omega era Bullet Club? Absolutely.
Oh yeah. All right. I can't wait. Last question that we got from RF Hacker. This one's I think mostly for me, but I'll let you answer it if you want someone on the show. RF Hacker asks, he wants to hit an event with us sometime. Absolutely, I'd love to have you in an event, Hacker. We'll all get together, have a nice little Midwest showdown. Who would I like to see on some random in the near future? If I could have anyone on the show, if I'm going to keep it to the FGC, probably Joe Monday, to be honest with you. I just want to pick that dude's brain because he does a lot for the community. He hosts so many shows. I just want to have him on the show and just fucking talk to him. Just kind of get his general feelings about stuff and maybe expose more of Joe to the world that maybe people don't know a lot about. Outside of the FGC, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, I respect it.
Big viewer numbers.
But so to answer your question, like I would like to see Chicago player Zach in a Box on because he is part of the Midwest movement. He is the main figure behind the Midwest movement, which for those of you that don't know, the Chicago FGC has a clothing line.
Absolutely.
If you've ever seen the Big Chillin' or Midwest Movement shirts, of which I model, like I didn't model, but like there are multiple pictures of me in that wear specifically.
Nah, you model. It's okay. You can say it.
Yeah. So like I take a lot of pictures of myself in this movement shirt because I'm on brand. But I would love to see Zach on here to talk about the Midwest movement and see what that can be.
I would love to. I would love to have Zach on. He's actually when I started the show and like as it started to grow, I was like, man, I really wish I had some more like people that like I tangentially know or like people from around the scene. and Zach was like one of them that I was like, all right, I need to have him on because he beat my ass at Michigan Masters this year, knocked me out of top 8, and he ended up winning the whole thing over Shadow Peyoso, I think.
I remember watching that. Zach was super pissed off.
Yeah, Zach was on one. Shadow was like, I don't know, playing really weird and gimmicky, and like just enough to like press Zach's buttons. And Zach, I 6-0'd him, and that was awesome, fucking awesome.
I remember I was watching that because like Zach was super pissed off in the Chicago. Great.
Well, he came with a vengeance. He knocked me out. I think it was 0-2 in top 8. He knocked me out and then just went on a fucking tear. And shout out to Zach. But yeah, no, I'd love to have him on. Midwest Movement Apparel is in the chat right now. I'll throw a fucking link to that in the show notes when it's on iTunes and everything else because support the Midwest scene.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No fucking problem. Thank you, man. One more time, if people want to find you on the internet, where can they find you, Seth?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at SethSeriesMKII.
Beautiful. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Walmart.com, and the NintendoClub.com, at Sriracha Flash. I'm all over the place. And then, like Seth said, if you want to find him, SethSeriesMKII, all over the place. Go watch his YouTube videos. Go support him. Go support him when he turns into Seth Series New. Go support Seth Series Big Zam. Go
Seth Series High New Seth Series.
High New Seth Series. Everything. Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait for the rebrand. I can't wait to see what happens in the future. Best of luck to you in Vegas.
The rebrand, I don't know if or when a rebrand is gonna, but I already have ideas if it does.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to see it. But thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Seth, for being on the show. And this has been Sriracha Flash. This has been Seth Series. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.